morning, everybody. This is Beth from Art by Bedell, and I am joining you today to share with you a process video on Dephemerember 2022, day 3. Our prompts for this day are journaling card, a bright color, and a penguin. So, this is the card that Louisa and Barbara have provided for us, and I make those into journaling cards. And then, so that could be my journaling card. I may do another one too. We'll see how this goes. I have chosen the Emperor Penguin because he has the bright color for me provided with the orange on him. I also have this fine art piece of paper that has some orange on it that I thought we would use. And then I thought, being that it's a penguin, we'll make it on this print, this black and white page out of a book. And let's see where this goes. I'm going to set this to music and let you watch most of it, and then I'll be back when I have it almost done. So we'll see you in a bit. Okay, this is a piece of ledger paper that I did the mommy-gami technique, where you knead the paper over and over and over with some sort of oil on your hands. I use coconut oil, and I'm going to use that on my page for some texture. I always have to have some texture, and I probably will do the same thing with this fine art paper. I have my paper all kneaded. I'm going to move my book out of the way for a minute, and I'm going to put a little bit of vintage photo on here to bring up some of these hills and valleys, bring up the hills, I guess, and separate them from the valleys in the texture of my paper. Now I want to use some embroidery floss to stitch my two papers together, and I think I'll leave it at 6 strands. And I will just randomly, not being real careful, I think I'll put a little knot in the end of my thread. I'm not going to worry about straight stitches, even stitches, straight lines. I'm just going to stitch my papers together. Okay, so I stayed true to my word and did not worry about whether they were straight or even or whatever, and I have my two pieces of mommy-gami stitched together. Next thing I want to do is add some ink to the back side, or to the magazine page here, the book page here. And in doing that, let me see, there is a flip out. I think I'll save that for the other side. I need to coat this first with some gesso. So I'm going to do that and be back. Okay, while this is drying, we're going to work at doing some layering here and make what I call a panel that I will then attach to my page. I do know that I want some of my stitching to show, and I want both of my papers to show. And of course, this beautiful penguin. Now, I could add some of this green texture in here, and I think I will. Again, I should have sewn that in, but this will be okay. And let's see, what else should we want to put on this? If I tear this penguin down, I could make him into a belly band. Let's do that. Got the tip of the poor guy's beak. There, he actually fits everything better. Belly band, he'd have to go top to bottom like that. Let's pull our book back here. Okay, so I think before I can go any further, I need to finish this. So I'm going to heat set that with my heat gun. Okay, so that's dry. So let's add some ink to this. We do have some carved pumpkin. It's going to be really bright, but I think maybe after we put it on, we can tone it down a little. So let's put some paper behind our page. I'll take a couple pieces and spray some ink on these. Yes, if we wanted bright, we have bright. All right, we're going to go ahead. Let's add some blue. We are so very bright. Blues turn into green, which is fine with me. And then I have some of this spray that I had mixed up between the different colors of some I have left. I don't have much left in this either. Let me see if we can just shake a little bit out. And we might be making another mess like we did yesterday and then had to fix it. Messes are fun. I like messes. Get some of that to moving around, mix it together. It's going to get muddy. I think we should take some of it off, and we'll do that with a piece of our ledger paper. Makes really pretty ledger paper. See? And then let's dry this and see where we are. Before we get it way dry, I want to spritz it with some water. There we go with our spots. That's what I'm looking for. All right, I'm kind of liking that. Yeah, this will be nice and bright and cheery. Some vintage photo along the edges of it. Try to get a good amount of it on there for a nice border. Maybe I'll have to ink up my pad a little. Well, a little turned into a lot. Let's see what we can do. I am going to let this dry by itself, and then I will be back. All right, so I'm very happy with my background. We have our bright colors there, and yeah, it still looks kind of grungy. So now we need to figure out what we want to do here as far as what we want to add. I think I really do want that green on top of there. I also am feeling the need for a belly band. We could have just a small belly band here. I also want to have some brown Maruyama paper put in here, some brown. I just love the texture of that. I will tear that down because that's a little bit too much. And I think we should probably go in this direction. And we're hiding most of our background, but it's peeking through here. I don't like that brown there. Let's put some here and see if it's better. Just a bit of it coming out from underneath I think would be great, just like that. And we've covered up most of our stitching. Try not to let anything be too precious here. Doesn't mean that our belly band has to be in the center or at the top or at the bottom, left or right. It can just be random. And I think it's going to go here. And that shows all of our textures that we have in the back of our page. And I could just add a little bit of glue and take this panel. Let's see, maybe we should stick to the hand stitching since that's what we started with. Try to get away with not using much glue on this page until we get to gluing everything down to the page here. So I will just play around with some stitching and get everything sewn together. Okay, so I have my stitching, my hand stitching done. I have made a belly band with my penguin here. So I'll slip my card in there. I've stitched on this webbing, whatever it is, and I've used embroidery floss. Now I have also made a crown. He is an emperor penguin, so she needs a crown. Barbara will be pleased if I did a crown. So we have that. Now the next thing that I want to do is add some mica flakes down here for some texture. So I'm going to take this off my book for now. And I am going to take my art glitter glue. No, probably better use tacky glue. Actually, I decided to use my diamond glaze. I kind of steer away from this because it takes so long to dry. But I really want my flakes to stick. So I'm just going to add some down here in the grassy part, down by his feet, around his tail. We're just going to put on a little extra texture here. If we don't have too much of this glossy accent, it won't take as long to dry. And then I'll get a coffee filter. Set this on the coffee filter so that it can catch all of the mica flakes that I have. And I'm just going to give them a little tap and get them to stay and shake off the rest. Oops, let's not lose our crown. And pour the excess back in my jar. This jar of mica flakes was gifted to me years and years ago. I have no idea where the girl got it from. But she had a lot of it, and so she shared it. Okay, so that looks pretty cool to have that down there. Do we need it anywhere else? Let's put it on our page and check it out. All right, I'm really torn between whether I need to add more mica anywhere. I'm looking for my 3 element, so I'm going to do mica, crown, and a page tab. So for the page tab, I usually just make it out of scraps of paper that I've used in my project. So I have a piece of the mulberry paper. I have a piece of this paper, the fine art paper, and I just make long rectangles and then fold them and staple them over the top of my page. So that's what we're going to do for this. And I usually add a lace, but since we're not doing lace on this, so I'll fold this in half and I'll fold this in half, and then I just layer them. I need another texture, and I don't believe, yes, I do have another piece of the green netting here. So I can cut a piece of that off and put that over top. And then we have a page tab that can go on top of our page, making sure we don't include this flip out that's on the other side. So it pretty well blends in with that. I'm not sure that that's what I want. Maybe I should put it over on this side. So I'm not liking that either. I can't do it on the side because of the flip out unless we just don't use the flip out. So we have a piece of this that we tore off. We're going to use it just like that. It's going to be a page tab up here just like this, and I will staple that down with a staple gun. But our page isn't attached yet, so we're not going to do that. So let's attach our page. I'm going to use my soft matte gel to attach this to my page. So get a brush out here, put a pretty good coat on here. It's not only going to attach my page, let's see. Yes, we can go over top of the orange too, but it's going to seal in my ends of my stitching that I did so that that doesn't come loose. I want to make sure I get all the way to the edge, although I can go back in later with my art glitter glue. It's got a nice little tip that I can get the edges with if they didn't get caught in this first time around. And we could go down on the bottom of this, get sure I've got enough on. All right, and then we'll just flip that over and add that to our page now, just like this. And then I will go around with my fingers after I close this up. And let's see, make sure we put this where we want it. It's just about right there. And then just seal all this down. It looks pretty good. Must be I got enough on the whole thing. So our page is now attached, all but right here. I didn't get enough right there. Now that that's attached, I want to attach my page tab at the top. This is my staple gun. There's our page tab on top. Mica flakes on the bottom. Get our crown attached, and let's attach that with, I'm out of 3-in-1. That's what I normally would use, is some 3-in-1. So I think I'll use the diamond glaze. It didn't make a very good triangle. I should have had my thing all the way over here because I'm kind of in a straight line, but it is what it is at this point. For a journaling card, like I say, I use these for a journaling card, and I could stop with that. Maybe what I always like to add to my pages, some coffee stain copy paper for journaling on. Okay, so I have this, and I think we'll have to decorate it up to match our page. Usually make what I call stationery out of it. So let's put our page aside. And this is going to have to be folded in quarters in order to go into our belly band. And we want to go around all the outside edges with our ink. So these journals can be like an idea journal. They can be an actual working journal. They can be like a tabletop journal. I'm not sure what I'm doing with mine. I'm thinking that it's going to be a working journal, but I'm not positive. So, being that I'm not positive, I'm going to put in, like my paper here that I'm making, in different places and leave places for journaling. And then if it's just an idea journal, well, that's okay. An idea journal must have the stationery in it too that I like to make. So we have a piece of this orange paper here. I'm not sure if there's a right side or a wrong side. And we have some of the mulberry paper. And we have, where to go, a piece of this brown that we pulled off the penguin. So I think we'll use those three elements as our header. We'll just glue it on with a glue stick. And then we could hand tie some of this on. This doesn't tear by hand very easily. So I'll get my thread out again. And this is what I did on the page, is I just did some hand tying like you would a quilt. This is kind of a miserable product here to get to glue down to any page. So if you can sew it, whether it's with hand sewing or machine stitching, that's a whole lot easier than trying to get glue to stick to it. So I think I'll do it in three different places here. So we have that. That's really nice. And I could do the number 3 because this is the third day's project here. I could also add that 3 to, let me see, I have an idea. Maybe for our, because we're all in a row here with our items, to make our triangle, maybe we could go off to the side like this, and then do 1, 2, and 3, or even up here, 1, 2, and 3 to get our triangle in. Back here, again, makes a line. So I'm thinking to do the triangle, we're going to have to put it like right here. I would love to staple that also on there. I think we're not going to worry about this. I think we'll just staple it on there. And that won't be a fold out on the other side. We'll just end up gluing it in place, and that's okay too. So our 3 is going to go here. That will give us our working triangle. Make sure I don't get any other page. That's better. That's much better. We put some mica flakes up there. My problem is, it's like, okay, we could do this, we could do that, and I'm trying to keep it so that it's not overdone, but yet done enough. Okay, let's finish our stationery. Our project is completed. For the stationery, to finish it off, I printed out a couple more of the penguins here, and I chose like 3 of them grouped together. On the back side, I put a bigger one to cover up a little bit of the stitching and the staple. Not that I needed to, but I did. And let's see, added the splatters, the gold and the white. I added a little bit of bling to his crown. And that completes our project. I hope you have enjoyed this, and we shall see you again soon with Dephemerember Day 3. You have a wonderful day today, guys. Bye now.